West Point, 1932. In a dancing class, cadets turn in pairs across the floor. One man turns alone. No one will partner him. His name is Benjamin O. Davis, Jr., and for 4 years he will be the only black cadet at the military academy. His classmates have already decided how to handle him. They will pretend he does not exist. The Army had a word for it: the silence. Normally, it was a punishment. When a cadet lied or cheated, the others stopped speaking to him, roomed him alone, and let him eat every meal by himself until he broke and quit. Davis had betrayed nothing. He had earned his place, but for 4 years he roomed alone, ate alone, and was spoken to only in the line of duty. He later wrote that he was silenced, in his words, solely because the cadets did not want black men at West Point. He called himself an invisible man. 20 years before Ralph Ellison wrote the novel Invisible Man, a cadet was living it, unseen, not for lack of substance, but because the people around him refused to look. What they missed was how stubborn he was. He ran alone through the hills. He wrote cheerful letters home, and he did the one thing that made the silence unbearable to enforce. He excelled. In 1936, he graduated near the top of his class, the first black cadet to finish West Point in the 20th century, and the first in nearly 50 years. Much of what we know comes down through his family. His great-nephew, Doug Melville, tells it in a book with a title like a verdict, Invisible Generals. As the family tells it, the academy offered him a way out disguised as a gift. Resign and they would send him to law school and set him up in a Chicago law firm. He said no. I cannot confirm that offer in the record, and I will say so plainly. Families smooth their history over generations until the emotional truth stands out, even where a detail cannot be checked. What the record confirms is colder than any story. A man was told he did not exist every day for 4 years, and he stayed. There is a thread we rarely name: colorism. Davis came from the black Washington elite. His wife, Agatha, was light enough to pass for white. But notice what that did not buy him. It did not buy him a partner at that dance. Some versions claim West Point admitted him by mistake, thinking he was white. That is exactly backward. He was appointed by the first black congressman of the century, and he was the son of the Army's most famous black officer. Everyone knew. The silence was not a mistake. It was a decision. Davis wanted to fly. The Army Air Corps closed the door with one sentence: there were no black units, so there was no place for him. His father had waited even longer, posted for decades where he would never command white troops. Then, in October 1940, Franklin Roosevelt made him the first black general in American history. The timing was not subtle. His son wrote that the promotion was meant to win black votes, then added that his father had richly deserved it for years anyway. Here is how the door actually opened, and it beats any backroom deal. It took a lawsuit filed by a student with the NAACP behind him. It took the black press refusing to let go. In 1941, the Army authorized an all-black flying squadron at Tuskegee. When Eleanor Roosevelt visited, she climbed into a small plane and let the photograph travel the world. Davis earned his wings and took command. His pilots flew over North Africa, Italy, and Germany. When critics tried to ground them, he defended their record in Washington. It held. And then, the cruelest symmetry. In 2012, a major film celebrated the Tuskegee Airmen. Davis's great-nephew went to see his great-uncle, the squadron's real commander, honored on screen. Instead, he found him written out, replaced by a character who never existed. His father, left out entirely. Made invisible at West Point. Made invisible again, in the very story meant to honor them. That is why the book exists, and why its title is the truest thing in this history. The cruelest thing you can do to a person is look straight through them. Davis refused to be looked through. He stayed when they wanted him gone. He flew when they said he could not. In 1998, a president finally pinned a 4th star on his shoulder, recognition earned 60 years before. He had no children. His name reached you anyway. That is the answer to being made invisible. You say the name. You look, and you refuse to look away. Stay curious. Stay informed. Learn more about Benjamin O. Davis, Jr. and other medical pioneers who have been railroaded by bad policy on unbedsidemanners.com.